Hi, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be continuing with some quick videos to show you some techniques using some Sentimentally Yours products. And we are going to be using the Gelli Plate today. Gelli Plates seem to have gone up in price a heck of a lot. So I've decided not to restock them on my website. I know a lot of you have got them and probably don't use them very much. I don't use mine enough really. So I think I've probably got one left, as I said, which have a look on my website and you'll find all the other products we're using from Sentimentally Yours on my website for shipping to UK addresses, and you'll also find them at Honeypot Crafts. As I said, we're doing some quick short technique videos which you can dip in and out of, and obviously don't take long to watch, just if you want to have a quick go at a technique. So we're going to be using some of the new one of the new Sentimentally Yours stencils. We're going to be using the new Extravaganza, which is a lovely, quite open pattern, but very delicate as well. So it's ideal to use with the Gelli Plate. There is also a border die which matches it, a slender one. As you can see, Extravagance. Two different size stencils. Obviously this one you can extend out and make it into an 8x8 if you wanted to, but we're going to use a 6x6 because it fits perfectly on my 6x6 Gelli Plate. So to start off, what we're going to do is we're just going to lay some colour down. So we're going to take one of the new Chalky Acrylic paints. This is called Warm Cerise, and we're just going to pop a little bit of this on the Gelli Plate. That should be plenty. Obviously, because this isn't a tube, you need your spatula to pop the paint on. And you do need a brayer. So this is the 4-inch brayer from Sentimentally Yours. So you don't need a big one. And it's quite squeaky. So we're just going to move around the plate to get that paint nice and even. And get rid of any excess. You can't see it, but I've got a piece of paper at the side of me just to clean my brayer on, and that in itself makes a cool background too. So just going to actually lift this paint straight off again, just to give us a base for a background. A piece of white card. You can use paper as well, you don't have to use card. Just give it a good old press. You can even go over with your brayer if you want to. If you don't want to press, that works too. And then peel it away. You will find some paint stays on your Gelli Plate, and if you've got any old paint as well, that comes off. You can see I've got a little bit around the edges, but that's cool. It just adds to the texture of it. So that's the base of a background started. It's got all the colours on there as well, but yeah, that's fine, because you always, when you put new paint on, you always lift the old paint off. So now we're going to go for another colour, and we're going to go for the Petrol blue. And we're going to pop some on here as well in exactly the same way. Should be enough. You don't need very much at all. Paint goes a very long way. It dries quite quickly normally if you are painting with it. Just a thin layer of paint. It's always a good idea just to go in one direction. It's a nice good coverage with a beautiful colour, isn't it? And then again, clean it off on a spare piece. Now we're going to come with our stencil, and we're going to pop our stencil on top like that, and we're going to take our background, which we might not line up perfectly, but it doesn't matter, and we're going to give it a good old press through those holes in the stencil. Not sure what's wrong with this, apologies. Something that's just fallen in the bin that I didn't want to, but I'll pick it out in a minute. That'll learn me for not putting things away, won't it? Right, thank you. I think that's probably good. that way, and then we've got a print on top of a print. Really cool. So that's why you use contrast colours. So now we're going to lift the stencil away, and I don't know if you can see, you can just about see that we've got an impression now on our Gelli Plate of the actual stencil. So I'm going to, this needs to be dry before we do the next bit, but we've got paint on our stencil, so let's just put that to one side, and we're going to give this a mist with water and see if we can get a print from it. Okay, I might have just dipped the camera in it. It's doing it all in a small space. Okay, let's turn this over. This is like a bonus really. Always have loads of spare card hanging around so that you can do these extra prints. And we could, while we're at it, actually ink through the stencil because it's going to stay in place a little bit. So let's try that as well. Very quickly, let's get a sponge. See what colours might be loaded. Let's see if we've got red on here. We've got, this is a bit of lumberjack plaid that's left over on this brush. Obviously you don't, if your stencil's really wet, you don't want your brush to get wet, but this is not too bad at all. You can do this afterwards. You can reposition the stencil on if you want to. Still got that noise on the desk, even though something's fallen in the bin. I'll do. Now lift this away so we've got a print. It is very pale. I'm just about to see a bit of blue. And then of course I've inked through with the lumberjack plaid. So as I said, the Gelli Plate needs a little time to dry, so we'll just pause for a minute and then we'll come back and do the next bit. Okay, this is nice and dry now. I've also cleaned off my stencil. Let me show you my stencil. So if you clean it off straight away, it does come up clean. Just under cold water, and I've used a nail brush as well. So, but it is important to clean it off quite quickly, otherwise it will stick. But yeah, that's nice and dry now. You can see none of it's coming off onto my hand. So let's do the next bit. So I think what we'll do is we will take a little of the warm Cerise that we used first off, and we'll pop a little bit of that on here. Let's just get rid of that paint that's on there. I want to waste as little as possible. And then we're going to take, that's my franking machine that's decided to do something while we're doing this. Honestly, you couldn't write this, could you? I think that might be enough actually. It's just a teeny tiny bit more just down there. Okay. So this is Banana Split, the yellow. So let's just spread the yellow first on the top. And what it does is this wakes up the colour from underneath and means that you can pick it up. So now we go for the pink. Obviously that's going to be quite mixed. And merge it a little bit. Okay. Clean it off. Let's take our print. I'll clean off the Brayer a bit more as well while we're at it. It doesn't hurt. That's all over the corners. Don't leave it too long, otherwise your card will actually stick. You do want to get a good adhesion. Let's see what we've got. Is it coming off? That bit there doesn't want to come off. I think that's a bit dry at the corner. So if it dries too quickly, it doesn't come off, but then it'll come off in another print. Look at that. I think that's I think it's quite vintage actually. I really like it. So that's how you use your Gelli Plate with your Chalky acrylic paints and the new stencils. So we've done 3. So first of all, I just laid some colour down and then lifted the blue through the stencil. Then misted the stencil. I only got a little bit of blue off because I didn't put much paint on it. So obviously the more paint that's on the stencil, the more you're going to lift off. But then I went through with Lumberjack Plaid Distress ink. And then this is Petrol blue on top of, not Petrol blue on top. Petrol blue is what the stencil had on it. We've put the warm Cerise and the banana split on top, which is what's on the inside of the stencil there. I did do another one. So this is a print from the stencil. Like we got here where we didn't get much blue off, I got quite a lot of pink off because I'd actually got pink paint on the stencil there. So again, as I said, the more paint that's on the stencil, the more you're going to get off. And then this is the print that I got from that one. So instead of doing the blue on the stencil, I had the pink, the Cerise on the stencil, and then we've got banana split, and then I used a grey, which is Dove Grey, with that one as well. So you can see they're both quite different, but equally usable, and it's a lot of fun. It's quite addictive actually doing this. So as I said, look out for my other videos. Oh, this is my waste. Look at that. I think that's wonderful to use. Great for die cutting for your flowers and things. Yeah, look out for my other videos. Do like and subscribe on my Julia Watts Crafts channel. There's lots of background ideas and stencil ideas on there. And as I said, you can get products from juliawattscrafts.co.uk for shipping to UK addresses, and you can also find the Sentimentally Yours products at Honeypot Crafts. Thank you so much for watching.